using anything?
Yeah, I smoke crack and I do brown as well, but I don't use needles.
Do you need any condoms or anything?
Well, give me some anyway, yeah?
Sex workers, drug users, rough sleepers. These are the people that inhabit Grant Squibb's world.
That's cool, so I don't have to worry about you then for the time being.
A youth worker on London's streets, he spent the last 10 years pulling people back from the edge. But now, aged 35, he wants out.
You can only meet so many people with sick in their beards before you kind of think that, you know, I've kind of had enough.
Far from the squalor of the inner city, Grant wants to become a photographer, but he's left it late.
So at the age of 35, is Grant too old to become a photographer?
He's not too old, but he's got, it goes against him.
I'm scared that I haven't got the eye.
Uh-oh. This is like cliche number 429 in the history of photography.
Maybe I'm going to be crap.
We don't need more pictures like this.
Maybe I'm going to end up in a shopping centre taking pictures of babies.
In the months to come, Grant Squibb will head off into the unknown to see if he can reinvent himself before time runs out.
Heroin, never used. Any other opiates?
For the last 10 years, Grant has spent every working day trying to get homeless young people off drugs and off the streets.
Whereabouts are you sleeping at the minute?
Over there.
Yeah. See, it's just about trying to keep you out in the community long enough in order to do some work with you. That's always been the problem. As a youth worker, I'm based predominantly on the street. About a third of my week is on the street doing outreach, working with the hardest to reach of rough sleepers. They are probably the most socially excluded, marginalised young people that you're ever likely to meet. How's it going? I'm Grant from London Connection. So I've seen your face around. So you
On average, frontline youth workers only last 2.5 years before total burnout. At 10 years in, Grant is on borrowed time.
You know, I'm completely shattered, you know. I'm exhausted. Emotionally, I'm completely drained by it all, and, you know, and I'm frightened that I'm becoming desensitised to some of the issues. You can only hear so many stories before you kind of start letting it go in one ear and out the other, which is a horrible thing to say, which is consequently why I want out. I've got to get out.
So Grant, you're sick of the streets.
Yeah.
What's your next step?
Well, I'm really exhausted, so I'm finding it really difficult to sort of pin down a career to get my teeth stuck into. I think that's a natural thing that happens when you've been in a job for so long. Like, my self-confidence, my motivation is you know, I'm really struggling with. You know, I've been putting a lot of thought into it, as I have done over the last couple of years, really. You know, I've gone all around the houses and I think about music and fashion and the arts and all kinds of careers. And I think the main one I just keep coming back to is photography. You know, it's the only thing that really, you know, gets me excited. You know, I've always taken pictures. You know, I spent my 20s travelling the world, and I spent most of that time, you know, taking pictures.
Grant hopes the glamorous world of photography will give him back his zest for life. For an inside view of the business, there's no one better than freelance photographer Hugh Thompson. Well established on the celebrity press circuit, Hugh earns his living photographing the world's top stars.
Let's get down there and try low shot looking up. So look, what's it take to be a photographer?
It takes quite a lot of things, but really hard work is the most important, and it takes patience, timing, commitment. You've got to learn to treat your equipment as an extension of your arm, just be totally familiar with it. It's about timing, it's about being prepared to stand in the rain for 4 hours if that's what it takes, or 8 hours if that's what it takes.
For the next few months, in his spare time away from London's mean streets, Grant will learn the ropes under Hugh's guidance. Today, Grant's meeting Hugh for the first time.
Hugh. Oh, hello, mate.
He's brought along a selection of the best photos he's taken as an amateur snapper.
Okay, so this is just a few of my pictures that I bring out for you that I really like. This one is of my nephew. That one in particular I really like.
Yeah, it's not bad, but you've done that classic of just sticking them right in the centre of the frame.
It's slightly off-centred.
If you'd have just framed that slightly differently,
yeah,
it's ruined a good portrait, really.
This is the picture that I love. You can smell it. It's not bad, but you get a horribly bleached out sky, and he's out of focus. I like this one because right up in the north of India, and it was the only television in the village, and so there was always a hubbub around this TV. You have to tell me that because there's no telly in the picture. I know. It's a mistake that a lot of people make, which is confusing a good picture with a picture that has personal memory attached to it, and the fact that you've got to tell me the story behind it invalidates it as a good picture. But I mean, obviously, this is like my past. You know, I'm going to look at I look at the world differently now, and I've kind of, you know, it'd be interesting to see my photos in the future. Exactly. I mean, these are. You know, I'm a bit embarrassed of these. They're not bad, you know. I mean, a lot of people haven't got pictures as nice as this after, you know, many years, but they're not good either. You've got a lot of work to do, basically. So what you're going to have to do is get out there and start taking a serious amount of pictures for a start, because you've got a lot to learn, and the only way you're going to do it is by getting through a serious amount of film.
Hugh, you worried?
Yeah, of course I'm worried. He's basically got no natural talent at all at the moment, from what I've seen, and I can only think that he's got a huge mountain to climb. The big test for him is really how much he wants to do it. He's going to have to learn so much that he's going to have to get out there now and just work his nuts off, basically, for the next however many months it is. They're both digital. All three of those are digital. These two are digital, these two are film. But there's no difference to look at. Look at how beautiful that lens is. 1960s Kagaku lens.
As he's only ever taken snaps, Grant's got to learn the basic technical principles of photography. It doesn't come easy.
So the aperture lets light in.
Yeah. Its partner is this thing on top, which is the shutter speed. But there is another factor in this equation. Film speed, say 50, 100, 200, 400.
You've got another pen, Hugh?
It says there's a 60th at 5.6, 125th at 4, 250th at 2.8, or a 30th, or a 15th. Okay, so Grant, I want a nice tight headshot. Okay, just move your hand that's holding the lens the other way round. That's it. Boy, is my head spinning. I'm beginning to get it, I am. I mean, we're really having to go right back to basics for me, because all I've ever done is point the camera at something and press the button. I've never actually put that much technical thought into it. Yeah, I've got mental problems as well, you know what I mean?
With one foot in the world of the stars and the other in the gutter, Grant will be living a life of extremes. The next few weeks will stretch him to the limit.
So what are they up to then? What pictures are they after?
Well, they're kind of basically poaching. They're here to get whatever they can. A lot of it's for stock.
3 weeks on, Hugh and Grant are at HMV Oxford Street for an evening shoot.
Use for whatever, and they'll be looking for headshots, half lengths, full lengths, the news picture, and any funnies they can pick up of him picking his nose or doing something silly.
They've joined a large group of fans and press photographers here to see Craig David performing a set.
Locking on. You've got it right. Okay. Set up right. Remember, focus on his face, lock it on. When it's locked on his face, reframe it, then shoot. Okay, so focus, frame, shoot. All right, put your hand the other way.
Saying, why can't you keep your promises? No, you'll be home by 12, strolling in there for out with the girls, but leaving with the boy next door.
You're right here. Right. This way. Right, straight at very top.
Right, down to the bottom.
Okay. Got that.
So you got anything good?
Well, I mean, I took absolutely loads. You want to have a look?
Yeah, give us a look then.
Okay. I took absolutely shed loads.
Okay.
But I think probably there's one I know I got a good one because I shouted his name.
Ouch.
Craig.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's not too clever. That's not bad. Bit loose though.
There's one in a minute though where I've got his eye contact, but I don't know whether I should have maybe flipped the camera.
Oh, well, there you go. That's not bad, is it? That's quite good.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's not bad actually. A little bit of cropping, it's good. Very good.
Hey!
Few mistakes, but you know,
Well,
it's not bad, is it?
my first time, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
well
really
done.
enjoyed it. It was
Well
brilliant.
done.
It was such a buzz, man. Really, really enjoyed it.
That's good.
Last night doing photographing Craig David was brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it. It was so exciting and I just loved it. And I'm just so pleased I loved it because, you know, this is the career I've picked and I'm really glad I picked one that I'm totally excited about. It was definitely a clincher for me because I've decided to quit my job. I've decided to quit my job and to give photography everything.
True to his word, Grant takes the ultimate step. 1 week after the Craig David shoot, he hands in his letter of resignation.
It's a complete milestone. Saying that I was leaving, telling people I was leaving, it kind of didn't mean much until this thing came out of my computer and plopped itself onto the desk of my director. It's a great feeling. It's an absolutely petrifying feeling because I'm going into the unknown, but it's a great feeling too, absolutely great.
Hundreds of young homeless have passed through Grant's care, but now 10 years as a charity worker are behind him.
You alright, bro? Is he coming? I hope so. You met my fella.
It's Grant's leaving party, and he's brought along his partner of 2 years, Anthony Crank.
Hi, this is Stretch and Tim.
Hi, Anthony. Now you left work, tell me how you feel.
Oh, I'm really all over the place today. I've kind of got loads of mixed emotions, to be honest. You know, I'm saying goodbye to some really top, amazing people who've changed my life. I kind of left the office for the last time yesterday and handed in my keys. Got nothing in my diary as of Monday, nothing to do, and I'm really looking forward to that feeling. But I'm pretty knackered and emotional, to be honest.
What's your next step?
Back to the bar.
The following week, Grant and Anthony take a trip to the Somerset coast to take stock.
We could go to an owl sanctuary.
After the initial excitement of leaving work, a week in a caravan should provide time to reflect on how Grant's career change will affect them both.
What I'm learning is the fact that at any point, any one of us can reinvent ourselves. And that we can just become de-skilled and demotivated in our lives.
Were you worried? I mean, I don't mean something, but were you worried about, you know, being at the end of 30? No, I wanted to say it in the nicest way.
I'm middle-aged.
But you're not. Being 35. Were you
35.
worried? Because it's kind of like I came to London.
It feels like...
Let me finish. You know, I came here working part-time in a record shop.
Anthony is 29 and on the rise.
Working my arse off.
He's writing for OK magazine and he's recently broken into TV presenting.
I'm going to work especially hard.
Now that Grant has packed his job in, Anthony's income will have to support the two of them.
Now you left work, I mean, how are you for money? How are you going to live?
Well, I mean, that is a worry. I mean, but we've worked it out. I mean, I've got to sit down and do some proper calculations, which I haven't, you know, been putting off, actually. But, you know, I put a lot of thought into it, and I'm not going to get a part-time job. I don't want to do that. I don't think it would be good for me. Not yet, anyway. Maybe in the future. It's a major concern to Anthony, though.
It
should
amazing.
be said.
All I'm saying, if you had like a little regular thing where you were doing it, you know, every other day, and you do something like that, it keeps you fresh, and it also gives you a bit of beer money. Because I remember because I was working freelance from home, and I wasn't on the dough, I was getting dribs and drabs, but they were big dribs and drabs.
Anthony, you were unemployed for ages. You seem to forget that bit.
I wasn't unemployed, I was working part-time.
Only after a while?
No, all the time. I was working part-time.
I certainly didn't give you as much grief as you're giving me. I've only been unemployed 3 days. I don't plan on being unemployed for very long. I just want to have a bit of space without feeling like I've got to get a job, because you have made me feel like I mean, in my diary, for example, on the Monday after leaving my job, you've written in there, find part-time job.
But we'll see. No, I'm not bothered. I just want you to keep stimulated and just...
I don't think you need to worry about it.
All right, well, I won't worry, and I won't even talk about it again.
With the world of the homeless firmly behind him, the next few weeks pass by with domestic regularity. Yet despite all the time on his hands, Grant hasn't felt up to taking any photos.
It's just disappeared. Once Trish has come on, and then you've got daytime television, you know, before you know it, it's 5 o'clock and Auntie's due home. I think, if I'm going to be totally honest, I think I'm burnt out and have been for a long time. Trying to find any, remnants of motivation or, confidence. At the moment, my confidence is really battered. I'm just kind of feeling a little bit identityless. I've left one job, I haven't got a new career, I'm sort of stuck in the middle. I'm in a very weird space, a space I've never been in before.
A month after the Craig David shoot, Hugh comes round, expecting to check up on Grant's new work.
So, Grant, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I've been trying to keep myself busy. I've been studying hard on the internet.
Have you been reading the books?
I've been reading all the books that you've given me, yeah. I haven't had a camera for a few weeks, so that's I haven't been doing that. But what I have done is
So have you got any pictures to show me?
Well, I've got the pictures that I took on your digital camera that I burnt onto a disc.
But I mean, in the last few weeks, have you not done any pictures?
No, I haven't had a camera. I've only just picked up a camera, yesterday. So now is when
That's a bit of a shame, because you really should have got hold of a camera somewhere. I can lend you a camera any time. All you've got to do is ring me up. I mean, the fact that I had your digital camera for the last couple of weeks is not because I've needed it. It's just because you haven't picked it up.
No, I didn't know that.
You should have rung me up. You need to, you've really got to push yourself up that extra mile. You should be taking pictures every day, whether you want to or not. And if that means ringing me up and saying, can I borrow a camera, fine.
Well, I'm off to India on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a... Who's paying for that, then?
Well, as you know, I'm completely skint, but Anthony's company he's going to India to write a piece for the magazine.
If you're off to India for a week, I think you couldn't really get a more photogenic place. What I'd really like you to do is I'd like you to shoot a lot of film, at least a roll or two a day, and come back with 15, 20 rolls of film. And in those rolls, I want to see some really good pictures. Really, you've got a golden opportunity, so use it. Grant's got good people skills, and that's a definite plus in his direction. What I'm not sure about is he's just a little bit laid back about things, and there are a lot of very hungry young men out there trying to be photographers, and Grant's going to have to beat them. So I think he needs to get a little bit more intense about things.
Well, I think he was a bit hard on me, actually. I don't think he's taken into account, where I'm at. It's all well and good to tell me to, work harder, try harder, take more pictures, but, I'm physically, emotionally, I'm a wreck at the moment. I'm still winding down from working the street for all those years. And I need to do that in order to wind up to a new job. But I am going to India, and I intend on taking some bloody good pictures, and, just to prove to him that I can do it, really, and to myself.
With Hugh's criticisms ringing in his ears, Grant makes the most of his free holiday in Goa.
I've only been here 2 days and already have used up 6 rolls of film. It's just incredible. I've been here a couple of times before, but this time it feels completely different because I'm looking at the place with completely new eyes.
Say hello. Say hello, England. Say hello, England.
Hello, England.
With 15 rolls of film from India, there's now plenty of material Hugh can check for signs of improvement.
Shall we have a look at the pictures? Show us pictures from India.
I'm dreading it. This was disappointing. This boy on the bike just peeping through underneath. It would have been such a nice shot if that had just pulled out a bit. Or he was more worried about the police catching him than anything.
Who was?
That lad.
The snake charmer.
Yeah, the police over there had big sticks and used to beat the snake charmers. Is this the old guy? I can't see what you're looking at. But yeah, what a shame you can't see the whites of his eyes.
Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying, is that your frustration in not being able to achieve photographically what you want to, and that comes purely from a lack of basic knowledge. But yeah, I mean, you know, the whole point is you're trying to develop your eye. So yeah, I think there's some half-decent ones there. You've got to be pleased with some of them. I know it's frustrating.
I am incredibly critical now of my work.
These are better pictures than you would have taken 2 months ago.
Well, I'm looking at them differently. I'm looking.
Of course you are, because you know more to criticise. But I mean, 2 months ago you would have thought that they were great. Now you're just disappointed because you know too much.
I would have put a table load of them out.
But now you know a lot more, so you're more super critical. But in fact, they are a hell of a lot better than you would have taken 2 months ago.
Grant's overcome the first hurdle. He's realised just how much he's got to learn. 2 months since he gave up the security of his homeless street work, he's remortgaged his flat to raise some extra cash.
Right, now hold completely still again.
Although he's now shooting more film, he still lacks the most basic technical knowledge. But if he's to make it as a successful photographer, he must also develop his own style. To help him make the next step, we've arranged a surprise.
What photographers do you personally admire?
Well, you know, my hero is Martin Parr, because there's something about Martin Parr that taps into my past life. You know, that's gritty, that's working class, and I just think he's a genius. I love the fact that he can make something very boring into a beautiful piece of art like beans on toast or something.
What would you say if I told you you organise a day with Martin Parr?
I wouldn't believe you. Have you really? Have you really?
Yeah.
Flair and individuality are the hallmarks of all great photographers.
Photography has the ability to connect you with something you feel very passionately about. So if you want to get involved...
Martin Parr is world famous for his unique take on ordinary, everyday life.
It's really, you've got to find where your passion lies. And you then...
Martin and Grant go on a day trip to Crawley to capture on film a subject that Grant knows only too well. His parents.
I've taught photography for many years. You have a group of 30 students, and most of the students are basically very lazy. You know, they think people love photography because they think it's a glamorous career. The thing that makes people shine above the rest is people's passion and energy and drive. Never mind the technique. You know, you need technique in a sense to back up what you're trying to say, but unless you know what you're trying to say, technique's useless.
Hugh saw some improvement in Grant's India pictures. Now it's time for one of the most exhibited photographers of his generation to cast a critical eye.
When I heard that you wanted to see my work, I was like, you're joking.
How else can I judge who or what you are, but other than by looking at your photographs? You see, when I see a picture like this, I think, uh-oh. This is like cliche number 429 in the history of photography. You know, we don't need more pictures like this.
No.
This is not to do with you being a photographer.
No.
This is you taking pictures that you think are connected to photography.
That's a good point.
Let me give you a good example of what I would call good photography. You have a beach, okay? You have a mother on the beach. She sees her kids playing. She picks up her camera because she feels, you know, love and affection, and she wants to record this moment. That to me is what photography is about. Here, I don't sense that you're photographing. It's like a little bit of a fruit salad here. It's sort of, you know, they're sharp, I agree, but they don't add up to anything. This is Bewbush, is it?
This is Bewbush.
Ever since the 60s, Martin's been renowned for photographing real people in their own homes.
Come through.
Hello.
Grant's challenge is to take the mundane reality of a familiar setting and turn it into a good picture.
Martin, this is
Hello, I'm Martin. Hi.
This is my mum Beryl.
Hello.
This is my dad Derek.
Hello.
Martin's the photographer who's come today to help me take some pictures of you.
I am Mr. Parr.
Mr. Parr?
Yes.
Sugar? Yeah, thanks.
I was doing a project about the middle classes, and it was during the time, of course, of Mrs. Thatcher, and I had a particular dislike of Mrs. Thatcher, but I decided...
Here we go.
What does that mean?
When are you leaving?
Oh dear. Are you a big Mrs.
Blue.
Are
You
you?
are
Yes.
so not.
Really?
Yes, I am.
You've become more liberal as you've got older.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Did you iron your shirt this morning?
I did.
Oh.
So is Grant a Tory as well?
No, he was Labour.
So were you shocked when you found you had a red as a son?
Not really.
No?
He's always been different.
Let's move on.
What I want you to do now, then, is to do the portrait, do some maybe a few still lives around the house. I'm not going to say anything. I think it's just right that you go ahead and do it, and I'll just watch you, see how you get on. If you want to ask me anything, of course, do. And then I'm going to do also the same, and it'll just be interesting to... I'll maybe talk through what I'm doing when we do it.
Okay.
But I think in the first instance, it's right that you go ahead first, and then I'll just watch and see how we get on. Okay?
Then. That's it, Mother. Don't move. That's a good one. So you look over that way, Mother. Put your hand over here like that. No, that just doesn't look right, because you never, ever held hands, ever.
You want to do it without flash now?
Yeah, I want to do it without flash. Oh.
So if you're photographing those thistles,
Yeah.
and you want the view of the garden as well, you've got to make sure you balance that light with the flash. Are you with me?
Yeah, how would I do that? We're going to feel completely ignorant.
that to me looks like...
Picture that Victoria sponge. Why?
You've already taken one.
No, but I like the fact that it's been eaten and it's all just kind of like left there.
Right, so give me the flash. I'm just going to do a few pictures myself now. And just move forward very slightly. And then, that's right. And you just let me just try holding hands. Look at me, Beryl. So really what I'm doing is making this a very formal portrait. I don't know your parents in the way that you do. If I was here for a couple of days, I could do much more informal portraits. And also I'm making sure they don't smile. A serious portrait should always never be smiling. It should be serious, looking at the camera, very dignified. Yeah? I think this is important.
Derek?
Derek? Right, holding hands again. Excellent, thank you. It's a wrap, as they say.
Yes.
I mean, the first thing, Grant, is that you've got to get your camera sorted out and you've got to get relaxed with that. I mean, it sort of made me wince to see you fiddling about, not really knowing what you're doing, you know, and that's just something that will come when you decide which camera you should buy and you get used to using it. You know, I didn't feel you were in control. The very nature of photography doesn't appear to be discipline. It appears to be the free-flowing, hey man, how you doing, cool out trade. But even if you do it in that style, you've got to be much more disciplined about it, I think. You've got to learn how to express yourself. At the moment, you're going through the thing that all people do when they start photography, is they go through what they think they know about photography. In a sense, you've got to unlearn what's in your mind in order to start again. In a sense, you've got to go back to square one in order to go forward.
When he told me he was going in for this, I was a bit apprehensive. I thought, oh dear, you know, what's he taking on? Something different, you know. And I'm quite pleased. I really am. I'm hoping that he makes a success of it. That's all you want in life, isn't it? Children is to be happy.
Looking at the quality of his pictures now, I mean, he's got a long way to go before he's going to get commissions and people interested in using his work, because, you know, he looks really almost the type of work that you might see someone at the start of a 3-year photography course do, rather than anywhere near the end of it. And I believe there's something like 10,000 photography students every year in this country coming onto the market, and maybe 10% of them are lucky enough to get work to survive as a photographer, so he's got a long way to go yet.
When a world-famous photographer tells you to go back to square one, you can't ignore it. Grant's confidence takes a knock.
Even though I'm really passionate about becoming a photographer, it still feels like that it's this mad black abyss out there where I have no idea where I'll fit in. I know who I love. I know that, you know, photographers like Martin Parr make the hairs stand up on the back of my neck. But whether or not I can become another Martin Parr, you know, is what I don't necessarily 100% believe. I mean, of course, I am 100% committed to becoming a photographer. But I'm scared that I haven't got the eye or this magic that makes a good photographer. You know, maybe I'm going to be crap. Maybe I'm going to end up in a shopping centre taking pictures of babies. No, that's me. When you're actually there right at the beginning of this huge thing in front of you, you know, it's petrifying. I haven't taken any massive risks like this for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just feels like I'm such a little fish in a huge pond, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's a little fish at one time in, you know, whatever they're doing. And you were in the homeless sector.
Grant's been given a heavy dose of reality.
Oh, have you taken one?
The idea of setting up as a photographer just like that now seems a pipe dream.
Yeah, because...
It's time for him to downscale his ambitions.
I've worked with so many photographers that have got brilliant assistants that have taken, and now they're just starting to come into their own, that I met 5 years ago, and you're seeing their work about. You know, I see what a good laugh they have, and how valuable they are to a shoot.
I know, but it's a lot of hard work being an assistant.
If you're going to assist a load of photographers, all different kinds, you'll get some that you like, some that you don't, some that you love. Do you know what I mean? But you'll get different kinds of work, and through working with them, you might learn your own style. Saying, oh, I'm going to be a photographer in a year, I'm going to have an exhibition and everything. That's cool, that's nice to set yourself a goal like that, but you have to, you know, persevere along with it and really, really just, you know, throw yourself into it, but do a bit of toil. So just try it.
It's your go.
Okay. That
one. I've kind of decided, I'm not giving up. I'm definitely not giving up. I've decided on the route that I want to go more down the photographer assistant route. So I want to spend however long it takes, the next year, 2 years, assisting different photographers, learning the skills that way. I really feel that's the direction I want to do. And then obviously in the background, we're taking my own pictures, hopefully. Eventually, I'll take a photograph that I actually like.
Thurso, North Scotland. the setting for Grant's first assignment as an assistant. It's also his first paid job in 2 months.
Well, here I am in Scotland and it's the crack of dawn, and today I've got my first ever assisting job where I'm getting paid for real, and I'm more than a little bit nervous. I'm desperately worried that I'm going to forget some of the technical side, because I really, really want to pull this off. I really want to do a good job today and show everybody that I've learned everything that I've learned and that I can do it and be an efficient assistant. So, that's me. I'm going off to work now.
Today's shoot is a fashion spread for Maxim magazine featuring surfwear. Through Hugh's contacts, Grant lands the job of second assistant to advertising and fashion photographer Tony Briggs. Tony's well known within the industry for his cheeky, irreverent style. If he impresses Tony, this could be Grant's big break.
What skills do you need?
Everything, really, to be honest. It's hard work, it's not an easy job by any means. You've got to be proficient in all the cameras, all the lenses, all the light meters, all the different lighting rigs. I mean, I use pretty much the same setup year in, year out, but a lot of assistants will need to know everything. As well as their people skills, they've got to be sharp, they've got to get on with people, know what they're doing, humping stuff around, as well as just looking after people, as well as the camera skills. It's not an easy job, really.
Keep the button depressed, and then you can check inside the camera body to check there's no hair or any of that business or any dirt and dust.
It's a far cry from Grant's first expectations of a glamorous career. He's now on the lowest rung of the photographic ladder. Today, he's working beneath Tony's first assistant, Chris Pern.
Another important thing is to check there's no hairs in what's called a gate. So it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it's 99% of the time it's going to be the assistant's fault. So, good.
How's your meat reading, Grant?
It's my weakest point, I must say.
Besides the menial tasks of cleaning and loading cameras, Grant is expected to take correct light meter readings.
100.
100, yeah.
It's this science of photography which he hasn't entirely grasped.
So I don't know what always happens with light meter.
On non-cord, you just press it. On non-cord, you just press it once, it flashes, and when the flash hits it, it sets it. So that's it. That's it. So I'm just going to change the battery in this. Give us 1 sec. Just hold that for a minute.
Go on, what's problem here?
It's me and it's just light meters. I hate them. No, I'm all right when I'm on my own, but it's just as soon as the pressure's on me, my light meter never works.
Grant?
Yeah,
what was that ambient reading again?
It's 125 at 11 on a 400.
So on 100 it's
8.
8.
That's right, isn't it?
You can pop one of those A12s on there and just run a bit of tape around the joint for us. That's the one, isn't it? And just at the camera, and over the top of the camera, sort of up here. Thanks. What's in here, Grant?
That's 400 neg.
Black and white neg?
I think it was.
Come on! Right, Grant, 2 rolls in the... shit, man. 2 rolls Hasselblad, colour and black and white. And what's in the Nikon now?
Colour, 400.
Colour. Bring a black and white with you as well.
It's black and white, is it? Oh, so it's black and white.
Go on, Grant! Grant! Chop! Look at it.
Every time I do it, I just learn a little bit more. That's the way it is, isn't it? I just had this. I've got a psychological block on maths, So it's because if this is up, this comes down, and it's,
yeah. Grant, stick that in the bag. Oh! Yeah, we're going to get Grant involved now, I think.
With the bulk of Tony's shots safely in the can, it's time for the second assistant to dip his toes in.
Do you mind getting your feet wet? You've got a spare pair of boots with you. It's almost worth it if he catches a good wave like that. Maybe just trying to get on that sort of thing. But you might. It is a bit.
I was prepared for that.
Grant's getting on okay. I mean, it's he's not got it down to a T yet by any means, but yeah, it's one of those things that's a question of time and practice really more than anything. One kind of, day trip out in Thurso isn't going to be, it's not going to make him. He needs to spend a lot more time abroad and out in conditions like this. I've been assisting about 3 years. There's guys out there who've been assisting a lot longer, but in the same vein, there's guys who only assist for a year before they start shooting. So it's all about when you're ready to do it and when you find something you want to shoot and building up a client base really. So there's no real set time frame to it.
Just finish it off anyway. Just keep banging through it. Lovely. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Can we get them to come in?
So, Tony, how did Grant do at the end of the day?
He did well. When he wasn't under pressure and we weren't sort of taking the mickey out of him a bit and throwing things at him and shouting at him, he did well. Yeah, he's all right. I mean, considering this is his first commercial job, isn't it, or a proper job? I think on a bigger scale job, it might have been a little bit embarrassing if, a couple of little cock-ups he did. But he did okay, yeah. 60 quid.
Superb.
You enjoyed it though, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
Cheers, mate.
On that little bit of board as well, Grant?
Yeah. Yeah, my first paid job today. First paycheck in months. Been a long time coming. Yeah, no, it was brilliant. Just really, really glad to have been part of everything today. It's been really, really interesting.
Just stand up a bit, Chris, and mooch around it a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm blown away. Had a brilliant day.
I want the reflectors, and in a minute the umbrellas, but meanwhile, grab a light head and bring it down the corridor.
Safely through his first ever shoot as an assistant, Grant starts to spread his wings.
Can you take that up a little tiny, just...
First up after Scotland, assisting Hugh on a portrait shoot.
Don't worry, it's going to be quick and painless. That's good, that's very good. And again. Superb, that's very good. Go for a really big smiley one for the end. Grant, sorry, can you just do the curtains on this window for me, because they're on the backdrop. And again. That's very good. And once more. Superb work.
Despite spending most of his time as little more than a photographic dog's body, Grant is showing enthusiasm.
It's very good, actually. He was very useful. He made only one mistake.
Which was?
He pulled the main power switch when I was in the middle of a portrait.
Would you use him again?
Yeah, I would, actually. Yeah, he's been good-natured, uncomplaining, quite happy to carry everything. So, yeah, I would. Been good.
Grant, we're going to get some gels on this backlight.
Thanks to Hugh's recommendation, a few weeks later Grant gets another assisting gig, this time for celebrity photographer Nicky Johnson.
Hello, Lucy. Nice to meet you. Hello.
It's Grant's first job in a photographic studio.
I'm becoming a photographer.
Oh, you can do it. Anyone can do it.
Oh! OK, reading, Grant.
As well as the usual technical duties, he's got to acquaint himself with studio etiquette.
Do I look like I know what I'm doing?
Do.
Stop! Are you talking to her? Get out! You're not supposed to stand there talking.
16:7, sir.
OK, let's try a Polaroid, Luz. That's gorgeous. So just stretch up.
It's not long before Grant's technical gremlins strike again.
8.0808.
What is that sort
I don't
of
know.
reading?
I've not seen that one before.
What? Don't just snarl at me. Press the button so it cancels it.
I don't understand what you mean.
Oh.
16:08.
Rob, press the button.
Yeah.
Is it not blank? Press the button.
It says flash.
No, put it near.
No, it's not. It still says that.
No, press the button.
I don't understand why it doesn't. Every time I press it, nothing comes up in it.
Press the button.
Well, I'm really, really in a good space at the moment because I'm totally enjoying assisting photographers. And I was right, the best way for me, somebody who's been out of education for as long as I have, to learn is hands-on. And yeah, I'm not getting paid a huge amount of money, but I'm certainly learning the industry really fast and furiously, and I'm totally loving it. I can really, really feel that I'm getting a handle on things. I'm becoming a really proficient photographer's assistant, and that's giving me the confidence, you know, to carry on. And as I say, I'm really, really excited about the future.
Go on, Grant. Flag break over, mate. 60th at 100.
OK, boss.
2 months after his first assisting job in Scotland, Grant is back working for Tony Briggs, who's photographing comedian Richard Blackwood.
Fantastic. Can you roll on that, Grant, please? Good, well done, Grant. Right there when I need you. And again.
Tony, how's Grant getting on?
Really well. Leaps and bounds in Scotland. You know, he was a bit, you know, rusty then. He's really up to speed. He can use the camera, use the light meter. Good with people. He's relaxed a lot. Yeah, fully fledged assistant.
It's slightly more than before. 804.
Do one more, just on his point right in the middle. Grant's first assisting on next week's shoot. There's 3. We'll have 3 assistants, and Grant's going to be first assistant on that. So yeah, he's jumped up the pecking order a bit. Yeah.
So Grant, 4 months on, do you miss the street work?
I don't miss it. I don't miss the street. Don't get me wrong, I miss the young people. But I've only got to come to the West End and see them all. I still see my old colleagues and stuff, and they're knackered, they've got big black bags under their eyes, they're demotivated and all that, and they see me and I'm just alive and I'm living, and I'm not just existing anymore. I'm not just kind of working my arse off just to put a bit of food in the fridge, you know, I'm really doing stuff for me, and there's no way I could go back to what I was doing before, no way. It's only forwards now, no way.
Four months after leaving behind everything he knew, Grant's life has changed beyond all recognition. Despite a few setbacks, he's persevered, and now he's reached a milestone, his very first photo credit. No one's told Grant that this month's Maxim magazine features the surfing pictures he took on his first assisting job in Scotland.
Oh! I got a credit! I can't believe it! I'm so fucking tough, look at that! Do you know what? And I took those. This is it. This is the beginning. The first of many. First of many. It's cool, isn't it?
I took those. No.
Yeah.
They're fantastic, man. They're really, really good. I'm dead proud.
Not bad. He's done very well to track the focus throughout the sequence. Personally, I think he's shot them the wrong way round. He shot them as a portrait, and there should be a landscape, really. But that's a minor detail. Apart from that, it's quite a good little sequence. He's done all right.
It's just this, see this bit here?
Grant Squibb is winning his race against time. Already a full-time assistant, in his spare time he's putting together a portfolio of his own work. He aims to be a fully fledged photographer within a year.